Okay, nice. Hi everyone, the Touchline Report is back with some more news about uh, what's happening inside of the pitch and outside of the pitch. Today you have some great news about a new MLS club, also a possibility of scraping the away goal to of the Champions League elimination round. So yeah, stick with us and let's go for it.
Yeah. So the first game that we're going to be discussing from the quarterfinals is the Chelsea and Porto game. So obviously Chelsea were able to get the result they wanted in the first leg. So that clearly helped them in the second leg. They were able to sit down, hold the result, and that helped them get in the quarter semifinals. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like we already talked about it last week, and we predicted kind of Chelsea going to the semi-finals. And yeah, like I said, I was expecting Chelsea to hold to the first leg result, and that's what they've done. Porto tried to go for a goal to get a place on the semi-finals. They pressure Chelsea really high, but I don't think they played that as good as in the first leg. Although they managed to score a goal, a pretty good goal, a bicycle kick from Taremi, but it was too late, like 2 minutes to the 90s. So yeah, it wasn't enough. But they tried to go to the semi-finals. They pushed Chelsea, but it wasn't enough. And Chelsea did a great job. I mean, like they did what they should have done since the first minute of that game. They hold to the result. They didn't expose themselves to that much, and Porto had to go for it. Yeah, I don't know what you think about it, but maybe it's the same. I know Chelsea
Yeah.
semi-finals, not surprising.
Yeah, Chelsea obviously went into this game as favorites. Porto was expected to crash out, but I think Porto still did really well in both legs. I just think the second leg their performance went more down. I think they did worse than the first leg. Chelsea were able to hold their defense strong, not letting Porto get as many chances as they did in the first leg, and yeah, up to the end, Porto kept trying and kept trying. I just don't think they were good enough to get into the semifinals with that game, with that performance. And, that beautiful, beautiful goal at the very end. I just can't stop thinking how beautiful it was. Uh, you know, there just wasn't more time to get another goal. I think, as you said, like there's like maybe one more minute left. Chelsea starts the ball because they conceded. So I don't. If Chelsea just played in the back, Porto not going to be able to do anything. And I think that really, really affected them. So yeah. I think Chelsea were the better team in that second leg, and I think should they deserve to go into the semifinals against Real Madrid.
Yeah, the other game it was Bayern against PSG, right? I
Yeah,
mean, what do you think about it?
I think PSG were the better team in both legs. I still think Bayern were able to put a great performance up. They showed that they're still capable, of doing whatever they need to do without Lewandowski. But I think still you can see how much it affected them without Lewandowski. I think it really, really could have helped them if Lewandowski was there. His positioning, his leadership. I just think he's one of the best. I think he is the best striker in the world right now in the moment. So yeah, I think Bayern Munich were also lacking confidence. So because without Lewandowski, they always have Lewandowski. Lewandowski's always there, just to just to get that goal, just to score the goals for them. He's always there. He's their attacking line. He's the leader of their attacking line. I think without him, Bayern Munich were just like, I think they were less confident. Obviously, they have Neuer as a leader, Kimmich and Muller, but I think still Lewandowski was much very very missed. Not only like goal wise, but like also leadership wise. And I think PSG were able to get so many attacking chances. They just weren't able to put one in. And I think that Choupo-Moting goal, just like I think it summed up Bayern Munich's performance that day. It was messy. The goal was messy. The performance was messy. It wasn't as straightforward as they normally play, or as the first leg even. They didn't get as many attacking chances as they did in the first match. First match they got 31 shots. I think when you compare that to the second leg, I think Bayern Munich just weren't as good in the first leg. PSG, I think, were able to hold the result, and they showed that they were the better team.
Yeah, like you said, it was a little bit messy in the sense that we saw a lot of attacking, and PSG was basically using their counter attacks to go for it and try to score another goal and basically kill the game for them. And Bayern was basically going after a place on the semi-finals, and after losing 3-2 on the first leg, and they had to score at least 2 goals to go to the semi-finals, considering that PSG wouldn't score. And yeah, they tried really hard. They had good opportunities, but like you said, they didn't had a lot of players like Lewandowski. Like we can clearly see the difference when he is there and when he is not there. I mean, he's a goal machine. Choupo-Moting, we can totally see that he's basically um, to be on the sideline, and basically when Lewandowski can play or when Lewandowski has to get out to rest a bit and maybe play just 60 minutes of a game, then Choupo-Moting comes in, and that's why he's there. And he's like his quality is not even for uh, for Bayern's first team, of course, and it really made difference. Although he scored a goal, but it was like I say, it was a Choupo-Moting style goal because he always scores in some messy situations. So, like we saw last year, the goal he scored for PSG in the semifinals, if I'm not mistaken, also a very messy goal.
I think it was
And
quarterfinal against Atlanta.
yeah, right, yeah, quarterfinals, yeah, really messy goal too. So yeah, you can see difference in quality, but like we said, Bayern is they are the European champions. They had to do more, and you can just say I didn't have Lewandowski, I didn't have Gnabry, I didn't have Goretzka, and because of that I lost. They don't hold to that kind of excuses, and they have a team to also play good without all these players I mentioned. And like you said, they just weren't as effective that like they normally are. They had a lot of chances, but they 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 looked kind of messy because like the ball was always going back and forward, and we saw a lot of kicking the ball up front, and it was a little bit of disorganized. But in the middle of this mess, what I think it was very interesting, it was Lucas Hernandez' performance. He played center back instead of playing left back like he normally plays, and he did a stunning performance. It was amazing. Like he got the ball in the right moments in the middle of the penalty area. Basically, he saved a lot of goals for Bayern. They could have draw the game or lost the game, and yeah, thanks to like Hernandez' performance, Bayern hold to that 1 goal difference. They couldn't score. That's a shame because I wanted Bayern to go through and pull a crazy comeback, but yeah, they couldn't. We had, but we had also a lot of interesting things in other games, I think.
Yeah, that was one of the better games in this year's Champions League. I think it was very dramatic. I really liked it watching it. So the next game there was Manchester City against Dortmund. Dortmund I think put a very good performance up against Manchester City, but I think in the end, in that second half, Manchester City were the better team. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like you said, Dortmund again pushing hard, like they showed in the first leg. Amazing job, I think, considering their situation this season, and domestically they haven't been performing really well. They also bet in a lot of young players for these 2 legs, like Bellingham. I mean, like amazing performance. He scored a goal, second youngest player to score in the Champions League in the elimination round. And I mean, first half, heads off. They did what they could. They put a good performance. They suffered a goal from penalty kick that I think I'm not going to comment it, but yeah, it was from a penalty kick, not from a team play. So it doesn't reflect that much how that first half was going. And on the second half, Manchester City just stood to the level that they have been showing this season, and yeah, they basically grabbed the possession again, and they made Dortmund basically run after the ball, and they couldn't do anything in the end. They won again 2-1. Phil Foden scored another goal. Also, very important player for Manchester City in these two legs. And yeah, like amazing job by the English team, by the citizens. But Dortmund, they can be proud of themselves, but like Bellingham said, they can't be happy because yeah, they put a good performance, they pressured a good team, but in the end they couldn't make it to the semi-finals. So yeah, but yeah, good to see that they could still do a good performance against Manchester City, and it was actually interesting two legs.
Yeah, honestly, I think Dortmund were the better team in that first half. You know, that Bellingham goal, he was just in the right position at the right time. I think they made possession as well in that first half. So I think, Manchester City, as you said, that penalty kick summed up their first half performance. It wasn't as exciting. They weren't doing as many chances. They didn't have as much possession. But in that second half, I think near the end they came back. With that Phil Foden goal. I think it was Gundogan. He was able to seek out Foden. He was just open there. What a shot from Foden. To be able to put into that bottom right corner and then go celebrate with Guardiola. I think Phil Foden was the star player for Manchester City in both legs. Consistent performances from him all the time, even in the Premier League. So I think Foden was the hero for Manchester City. Such a young player, he's already a hero. So I think yeah, he did really well. I think Gundogan also did really well. Creating chances, making the passes that really helped them. And yeah, I think Dortmund did really well. But I think just in the end, Manchester City were the better team near the end. But I think for the majority of the game, Dortmund deserved to win.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, completely agree.
Okay, so the last game we have Real Madrid and Liverpool. Let's go Real Madrid.
Yeah, like I mean, good for Real Madrid again on the semi-finals, but I mean, it was like I already said in the last podcast, a game between like two sleepy giants, and I mean, second leg Manchester City. Real Madrid didn't have had to do anything. They didn't have to do anything at all. They just needed to stick to that two goals advantage, and yeah, they actually tried to get some chances, score some goals, but in the end, Liverpool was the team that had to go after the result, and if they wanted to go to the semi-finals, they had to go for it. But they never showed that they had the winning mentality that they have been showing, for example, last year, and yeah, at least at the start of the season, they didn't do that much. They didn't play a really good football actually, and yeah, again, we saw the defensive weakness of Liverpool and Manchester City and Real Madrid. I must really like Manchester City unconsciously because I keep saying their name. But yeah, like I was saying, Real Madrid also managed to create some chances, but yeah, they didn't had to risk it. So I'm not going to say it was a boring game, but Real Madrid played with the result like Chelsea did, and Liverpool couldn't couldn't reach to a certain level that made the game more interesting and made them score at least one goal and get the eliminatory again fired up. So yeah, it's yeah, it's normal. Teams have up and downs, and Liverpool have been in the down for most time of the season. So I'm not surprised with the result, even though Real Madrid hasn't been the greatest of sides this season. Like if we compare to the other teams that they had last time they won the Champions League, but still they were far superior to Liverpool, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Real Madrid were able to hold off the result that they had in the first leg, 3-1. They played a strong defensive game. They played well. They played well.
Mm, sorry, guys. Yeah, I think he had a internet connection problem. Probably have to wait for him. I think, but he's the one under control of the stream. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. Sorry, everyone. I
maybe
think we were
he's
having some
back.
technical difficulty.
I thought I had actually. I was the one with problems, but
Yeah, I
like
think I
last
was with Hamza
podcast,
as
but
well.
not.
Okay.
I
I think we're
back.
fine now.
Yeah, I thought I
Okay.
was the problem again, but
No, we're fine. So as I was saying, I think Real Madrid were able to hold off. Their defense is so strong, and I think I think they did really well in that first leg, enough to I think they did enough well enough in that first leg to be able to play a stronger defense in that second leg. I think Eder Machado and Nacho, as I said before, were just so brilliant in defense. Even without Ramos and Varane, I think they were still able to hold off a weak Liverpool. And Liverpool, just like once again, I think it was lacking confidence. They didn't have their captain. They didn't have so many players. I think they just weren't, as you said, they didn't have that winning mentality. They weren't able to when they weren't able to get the result that they wanted to. And I think Real Madrid definitely deserved to go into the semifinals. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Real Madrid fan, but I think because Liverpool didn't show enough passion to didn't show enough passion. They were obviously pushing, but I think Real Madrid were even able to get the ball, hit it upfield, keep it upfield for majority of the time at some points. I think I just think Real Madrid were once again the better team in this game. Liverpool they had some attacking chances here and there, but I think they just weren't able to put it in the back of the net, and that obviously hurt them. So yeah.
yeah, like, I completely agree. Liverpool, not enough, not good enough, and Real Madrid. I mean, yeah, good performance from their center backs without the main ones, Varane, Ramos, and yeah, they didn't have to do like basically that much in attacking level. They just try to get some chances when they had it, and yeah, they are on the semifinals again. Let's see. They don't have Cristiano Ronaldo for that magic again, but yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah,
Now
I
they
think
have.
so far. Yeah, I think 2021, the season they haven't been too well, but I think so far in the 2021 season, I think they've been doing pretty well. I think they've only lost one or two matches here and there, so I still think they have a great chance of winning the Champions League. They're obviously one of the contenders. Chelsea, I think, is the least contending team to win the Champions League, so I still think uh Real Madrid are one of the stronger contenders. Obviously, the if Real Madrid go to the final, they either play Manchester City or PSG, two very strong teams this season. I think PSG have been lacking um their finesse in League One, but I still think they've been doing pretty well in the Champions League. So even if they make it to the final, it's going to be tough matches. And Chelsea 2021 with under Thomas Tuchel, they've been absolutely brilliant. So Chelsea definitely going to give Real Madrid a hard time. But I still
Yeah,
think Real Madrid will be able to pull it off because they've been doing pretty well this season in the Champions League and in La Liga.
yeah, and like you said, Real Madrid is always a contender to the Champions League title. I mean, they have 13 Champions League titles, and they are the team with most titles. They had like they won three Champions League in a row. Like in theoretically, they are always a big contender to the title. And yeah, this season has been a little bit like atypically, let's say like that, because with COVID and all of that, teams have been affected, and this season was a little bit squeezed because it starts a little bit later, like in October, and players are playing a lot of games, like at least the big teams, at least more or less 3 games per week. And yeah, then we have to add the COVID factor because when a player has COVID, they have to stay at least like 14 days outside, and sometimes some players need more time to recover, and it's a disease that really puts you down after you have it because you don't have the same energy to do the to play and to train. So yeah, it's kind of hard, different season from the others from yeah, but yeah, they are in the semifinals, so let's see Chelsea Real Madrid, interesting game. Yeah, have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think Champions League is always gonna show up. It's always gonna be great. Okay, So now we went over the Champions League quarterfinal. Now Manuel and I are gonna show you who we think were the best 11 from the Champions League quarterfinal. So Manuel, do you want to go first?
Okay, sure, sure. Let me share my screen. And okay.
So basically, this is just who we thought were the best 11 players from the Champions League quarterfinal who performed best. And yeah, so this is Manuel's team.
Yeah, so first of all, shout out to buildlineup.com. We found this website and it was actually pretty funny to see what you can do with it. But okay, first of all, let's start by the goalkeeper. I chose Navas because in both legs against Bayern, he really did some great saves and he actually um, made PSG go to the semi-finals. If you look really close to it, because he made some really important saves in both games, and
Yeah,
like we already mentioned on this podcast, Bayern had like 31 shots on the first leg, so and they scored 2 goals. I think Navas had a lot to do with that. Then I put a back three, and because I didn't want to go to with any full back or right back because I didn't think any player stood out in that position. I chose Nacho because Nacho has been uh, in Real Madrid for a long time to put fires because normally when they don't have a player because his injury and they don't have someone to play center back, right back, left back. I think he also played in the middle field probably, but yeah, he's always there when someone is injured, and since he can play a lot of positions, this is really a good advantage for Real Madrid. His versatility is really important, and in the two legs, he showed that he was a good substitute for the two center backs that were out, and Nacho put a good performance in the two games against Liverpool, although a weak Liverpool, but yeah, he was really important. Then I chose Marquinhos, um, obviously because he scored 1 goal in the first leg, and he was also important defensively for PSG, like Nacho was for Real Madrid. But yeah, very important player for PSG for like quite some years now, and in these two games, it was no exception. He put good performance, defend really well, and yeah, PSG have a lot to thanks to Navas, Marquinhos, and also some other players that I'm going to mention on this on my 11. Um, the other player, the other center back, it's not surprising. It's Lucas Hernandez. I already mentioned that. I think he really did a good performance. He got some incredible plays from PSG, some critical moments, critical areas, really important. And Bayern Munich could have suffered more goals if it wasn't for Lucas Hernandez. That is completely sure, and we can't say that Manuel Neuer was part of it because I don't think he did on the two legs a really good performance like he he has shown in other years. But yeah, Lucas Hernandez critical player, especially in the second leg, and that's why he's in my 11. Sorry. Then we move forward to the middle field. I put it Ganagaye, especially because he did an incredible game on the second leg, getting a lot of balls. First player after the defense to protect the PSG goal, and really important player. Amazing performance. He was everywhere on that middle field. It kind of remind us of Kante. And yeah, he was like an octopus. Like people used to say about Kante, he was like an octopus. He was everywhere. getting every ball. Then we have Bellingham. I put him okay because he scored a goal, but yeah, he deserved it. He's so young and he put a good performance, especially on the second leg. And yeah, he deserves it. He has a bright future. Let's see what he can do in the next few years. But let's fingers crossed that he will have an incredible career. Then I chose Matheus Uribe, although Porto didn't go to the semi-finals, but he was a key player in Porto midfield and very important, of course, in the pressing process, and also very always present in the creating phase of the game for Porto. Then we have Gudogan, very important player for Manchester City this season, scored a lot of goals this season in the Premier League especially, and in the Champions League he did also a really great job. Man of the match of the second leg, I think 92% of the passes right, and really important to create chances. He made one assist for Phil Foden, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, a really important player on Manchester City, and it's incredible to see how he plays and his role. It's incredible, and he's a key player on that possession process of Manchester City. Then we move to the last three players, the front three. And sorry again, guys. That front three actually would be very interesting to see those three players playing together. Mbappe, I mean, we have no words. Two goals on the first leg, amazing performance also on the second leg. He didn't score on the second leg, but he put a really good performance, really important on those counter attacks. PSG just got the ball on their defense, and they just throw the ball on to the three front players, Di Maria, Neymar, Mbappe, and they go for it. Mbappe with his pace, his speed, it's amazing. He destroys every defense. He has a really great skill, really technical player, and he didn't score. He had some good chances, not so good like Neymar, but yeah, really good performance in both legs, especially in the first one with two goals. Then we have Di Maria, or like I like to call Di Magia or Di Magic, really good player. He showed his skills and he still has it. It's um it's so beautiful to see him play, and really important on those on this counter attacks process that I mentioned from PSG. And again, Di Maria, amazing job creating really good chances and good connection with Mbappe and Neymar, and those three players just they were they made PSG attack be so effective. Then we have Phil Foden, who scored two goals on these two legs, and really a key player for Manchester City. He's finally getting the chances that he deserves and the importance that he deserves. He's really good, and he's probably 19 if I'm not mistaken, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. He's already an England international. He has played a lot of games, and this season for Manchester City he has been a key player. And in these two legs, scoring two goals, really important for Manchester City, and really important for him to prove everyone how good he is. And yeah, that's my lineup. I would be very happy if you disagree, because that is good and that is football. Yeah, so let's see the next one.
Yeah, and we have one question from the comments from Ayush. He's saying,
Yeah,
"Where's Neymar?"
I would I know that this question would come up for sure, but in my opinion, man of the match, he deserved it. But I took in account more the two legs, and it was and I wanted to put a lot of players on the midfield, so I ended up having four midfields. And then I was thinking also to put choosing Neymar, but it was basically a personal choice, and also based on the performance on the two legs, because I think there were other players that stood more on the first leg than him. Although he was player of the week, right? Yeah, player of the week last Champions League game. So yeah, but personal choice more. But yeah, I can choose every player. I choose the ones that I think I thought it was more adequate. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Okay. So now I'll show you my lineup. So here's my 11. So same as Manuel, I had Navas in goal. You know, as he said before, um, Bayern Munich were just having so many tank chances, especially in that first leg. 31 shots. Navas was just a brick that game. He might have conceded two, but still, the amount of shots that Bayern Munich had. There should have been so many more goals, but it's because of Navas that PSG were able to get the result that they wanted. The same thing in the second leg. Navas was just brilliant. you know, he was as usual. He was a great goalkeeper. He conceded one. He conceded one goal, but I think that was a very messy goal. I think one of the PSG defenders accidentally pushed him down. I think he was on the ground by the time Choupo-Moting was able to head the ball, and then he got back up, but it was too late. There was already a goal. But I think still Navas was was absolutely brilliant. And for my defense, I had just like Lucas Hernandez. He was brilliant, just so brilliant for Bayern Munich. On that second leg, playing center back. He normally plays left back, but center back he did absolutely brilliant. You know, uh, I think his performance really summed up just how he can play as center back. I think he's also like preparing for next season. Upamecano is gonna come in. um, you know, Bayern Munich can play four defenders with Davies as a left back, and they can pair up Hernandez and Upamecano on center mid because Boateng's leaving. Soulier, doesn't perform all the time at his best. Right back, that could be Kimmich, that could be Pavard, it could be so many choices. But I think now that Upamecano's coming in, they have a set center back duo. I think Lucas Hernandez center back fits him more. Next, I had Eder Militao. Edel Machado and Nacho, they were just such a brilliant duo for for Real Madrid. They were basically rocks. In the first match, in the first like only conceding one goal together. I still think it was, and in the second leg, there was none because of them. They kept. It was like I think, in my opinion, because of them, Real Madrid were able to progress into the semifinals and still concede no goals in that second leg. They were basically brick walls in that second leg. Playing such strong defense, staying back. When the only time they came up was really like corners when they had an attacking chance when they can extend the lead. But I think still Eder Machado and Nacho were just so brilliant as defenders. So now I have five midfielders. This is kind of my own formation. So I had a center defending mid, two holding mids, and then two wingers. They could also act as like holding mids as well. So Casemiro, in my opinion, was the best center defending mid there. As you said, there's Ganagaye, but I still think Casemiro is better than was had a better performance than him in both legs. Getting the man of the match award in the second leg. I still think he was a brilliant center defending mid. He was making great tackles. Uh, obviously he had a fight with Robertson, but still, I think he made a lot of great tackles against Liverpool. He was also great. I think he was acting more defensively, so I still think he did brilliant, really brilliant against Liverpool. Against their attackers. He was always in the right position. Always making the correct tackles. I think he did a great job overall. And so I also have Gundogan, as you said. He was brilliant in both legs. He got the man of the match award in that second leg. Uh, in the first leg, he was the one that teed off the ball for Phil Foden to score that last minute goal against Dortmund. I think Gondwan, his performance is some of the way his playing style. He's a creator. He creates the plays. He makes the plays. He makes the correct passes. He's also somewhat of an attacking mid. I think he scored so many goals this season for Manchester City. I think this performance in these two legs just summed up the majority of the season for him. Coming back from injury, I think last season, last season his performance wasn't as good, but now this season, he set himself as a starter for Citizens, and I think Gundogan was just really well, did really well against Dortmund in both legs. There's also De Bruyne. In that second leg, he was acting as a forward, as a striker. He was leading the attacking line. De Bruyne making also he's a creator. He's making those chances. Playing those brilliant balls. He's like one of the best passers in the world. He has one of the best right foots in the world. So De Bruyne, obviously, I think in my opinion, he had to be there. He had to be in this 11. I think he, him and Gundogan in midfield are just like one of the most unstoppable midfield duos today in football. So I think De Bruyne did really well against Dortmund. And then I put Bellingham on the right. So young, 17 years old. I think, as you said, he was the second oldest player ever to score in the Champions League knockout stages. I just think in both legs he did really well. Obviously in the first leg, I think that his goal that was disallowed, that definitely should have been counted. There's no contact at all made with Ederson. If anything, Ederson kicked Bellingham, but Bellingham took the ball, fairly. I think that ref was mistaken with that goal. That definitely should have been a goal. But I think Bellingham still in that match still did really well. In the second leg, he was able to get the goal. He was in the right position. The strike was just such a sweet strike. He was able to get a past Ederson. So I still think like Bellingham was one of the better players for Dortmund. And obviously Phil Foden had to be in the lineup. Phil Foden was one of the best players. In my opinion, he was the best player for Manchester City in both legs. He was able to score 2 goals in 2 legs. He was the only he's the now fifth English player to score in both legs of a Champions League knockout stage. Phil Foden, he was just he was always performing for Manchester City in the Premier League, Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. It doesn't really matter. He always performs. He always puts on his best performance, and we saw that in these 2 legs. He's able to get into those positions, make those passes, take on those shots. That his goal in the second leg, from like on the edge of the box and buried into the bottom right corner. I think it was a great strike off his left. I think Phil Foden, in my opinion, in these 2 legs, he was the best Manchester City player at only 20 years old. It's just wow. That's all I have to say. And so I have Neymar as my attacking midfielder. uh, you know, he was creating so many chances in both legs. And in the first leg, I think he gave 1 or 2 assists to Mbappe. Or no, he's the one that played that ball to Marquinhos. It was a brilliant ball. He was making those passes that were needed to be made. He was getting past the Bayern Munich Bayern Munich midfielders and defenders sometimes with such ease. I think Neymar was one of the better PSG players, especially in the second. Also in the second leg, he was the PSG weren't able to get that goal, but the amount of chances Neymar had, I think it was maybe 5 or 6. He had chances. He had not shots, but like chances. So I think Neymar had 2 or 3 shots. Continuously just getting denied by the woodwork. I think from time to time now Neuer was able to save some of the shots, but it was always Neymar taking those brilliant shots. The the beautiful effort from Neymar, in the first half, struck the bar. He's able to cut in. He was able to do that chop and to get into space. Take it off his right. He had time to go on to take the ball, put it on his right, and then take it. He was able to swerve it up, just about to hit that into the top right corner, but it just wasn't able to. He just wasn't able to get there, and time again, he just continued to hit the woodwork. But I think once again, he was making those chances, making those passes. So I think overall in this game, he was brilliant, both legs. And finally, as me and you both have, we both have Mbappe. You know, he's so young. He's 22 years old, I believe. He's already cemented himself as one of the best players in the world. Um, you know, he got the 2 goals in the first leg. As he said, he loves playing against the best players in the world. He played against Neuer, one of the best goalkeepers in the world at the moment. He showed that he he may be young, but he still has the courage. He still has the passion. He loves football. He just loves to play it, and he's obviously really good at it. So Mbappe was just, in my opinion, he was incredible in the first leg. In the second leg, I think his performance went a bit down, but I still think that he was able to put on a good performance. Because I think they counterattacked a few times. They weren't able to get a few shots on, but of course, Mbappe and Neymar and Di Maria were able to be that front three, making those counterattacking chances. So I still think Mbappe was still brilliant despite his lack of performance in the second leg. But I still think he's still able to perform enough to get him onto this team. So yeah, that's why I put in Mbappe, and that's why I put all these players. So in my opinion, these are all the players that I think deserve to be that were the best in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, not too different from mine actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think the only change we had, I had Neymar, Casemiro, De Bruyne, and Eder Monchao. I think those are the only changes.
yeah, sure. That was it. Yeah, I made my bold choices of not putting Neymar and upsetting so many fans. But yeah, that's it. That's it. Football. It's cool like that.
So we had another question. I sent John Fire. Why Neymar? He missed many chances last game. So the reason I put Neymar, he made it. He might have missed many chances last game, but he was also creating so many more chances than he missed. The amount of shots he had on target, it was good. His positioning, he almost scored a goal. He just wasn't able to stretch all the way, and then Boateng did that nice turn and put it out. So, but I still think Neymar made a lot of chances, especially in the first leg. He didn't have as many shots he didn't have as many shots in the first leg, but I still think that his performance in the first leg, he's able to give a few assists here and there and play some beautiful balls in both legs, especially. And once again in that first leg, he was able to play that ball over the top of the defense to get it to Marquinhos, who was just wide open. He was able to put it past Neuer. So I think that's why I picked Neymar. It's not like my opinion. I like Neymar or not. I think he just did really well in both legs. So yeah, he had a lot of chances. He may have missed many chances, but I think he created more chances than he missed.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Like, although he didn't score, he's had a lot of chances to score, and he played really well, really important
Yeah,
on the attacking side of PSG. So yeah,
yeah, he was very vital for PSG in my opinion for both legs for basically this whole campaign. Obviously, he wasn't able to play in the round of 16, but I still think in the quarterfinals they really needed him against a strong Bayern Munich team.
yeah, sure. Like it's Neymar, you always need him. Like even if he goes to the ground and cries because someone falls him, but yeah, he's really important for PSG and really good player. So yeah,
And, diving, in my opinion, diving is a part of the game. Sometimes you have to do it, but I still think he didn't dive as much in this game, but I still think he was good for PSG.
yeah. But that's talking for another time. Um, so
Okay,
let's move on
so
to
yeah, now we'll talk about a new Champions League rule that could possibly come into place. It's the UEFA are possibly going to scrap away the away goal rule. For example, the one that knocked out Cristiano Ronaldo and Juventus. So, what are your thoughts on that? I think they should do it, but they're only going to do it in extra time, not in a normal game.
yeah. I mean, if it is only extra time, yeah, I can probably understand it, and it kind of it will kind of help because we probably will have less games like we had with Chelsea, for example, or with Real Madrid, holding more to their results. Because of course it's only on extra time, but yeah, in extra time players are more tired, so they have even more motivation to try to hold to their results and play with the way goals and all of that. So yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, it's a great change to the system, and it's not something that I think it will have a good impact, improve the game, and it wouldn't uh, change that much the model how it is now. It's not like the Swiss model or anything like that. So yeah, I'm for it. I support it.
Yeah, I also support this new rule because obviously it's only going to be in extra time, so I think that would be better. Away goal rule. It's been here for I think 56 years. They should keep it. They shouldn't just change it just like that. So I think they're going to be voting on it this upcoming week. So yeah, I still think that they should have it, and I think they will gonna. I think they are gonna have it. So only in extra time, I think it makes sense because extra time is still it's different from normal time. Normal time there's 90 minutes of playing. Extra time there's only 20 minutes. There's only 30 minutes. So I still think like in my opinion, I think the away goal should be removed in extra time because players are gonna be putting more effort in, and if they just score a goal and now it's tied, but they're gonna go out on away goals. The amount of effort they've already put in, they deserve to just keep going in. If it's necessary, going to penalties. So yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely support this.
yeah, sure. Like, I agree with you, and yeah, it's going to be like a minor change, but probably an important one. But yeah, let's see, because if we have this change for next season, and then 2 seasons after we'll have the new model, the Swiss model. I don't know how this is going to play, but yeah, probably right now Champions League is changing so much, and a lot of new ideas are on table. So yeah, but yeah,
Yeah,
just thinking of this rule, yeah, I'm for it, and good idea.
yeah.
And
I
I
just don't
think,
think they should. Yeah. Go on.
yeah, go for it. Can go.
Yeah, I just don't think they should change Champions League too much. Like for example, the Swiss model. I think that's a huge change. Now they're gonna go off based off of points. After 10 games, I think that just takes away the drama from the games. Champions League is like that's what I love to watch. There's always drama. The atmosphere of the games is just like so different from any other tournament. So yeah, I just don't think they should change too much.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there was a study about like the away goals, and I think there are a lot of like away goals on the Champions League, so it kind of shows that the away goals have too much weight on Champions League right now, and this might help like bring more interest to the games, because yeah, we will not have a team defending the result. But yeah, let's wait and see.
Yeah. Okay. Next thing we can talk about is actually now we're actually going to the MLS. New football team Austin FC is gonna be owned by a Hollywood actor Matthew McConaughey. He owns a small portion of new of Austin FC. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I think it's just kind of cool that an actor now owns a football team.
Yeah, and they have played the first game yesterday. They lost against LA, but um, yeah, they it's interesting to see. I think, for example, there was a time in India that they were trying to do the same thing. So they had like a super the first division, and all the teams were owned by Bollywood actors, and it's a good idea to actually attract people to watch the games. He's a minor owner, and they call it I think he's the cultural minister,
Yeah,
and he's kind of the face, or the promoter of the club, and it's very interesting to see, because Austin FC has been an idea for a long time ago. There are other clubs in Austin. I think one in the second, like the kind of the second division, although there is
yeah,
no relegation. But they have been trying to the franchise itself to incentivize, and with the idea of having a Austin-based club. And now it happened, although it happened in the strange way, because the major owner, it used to be the owner of the last champions, last MLS champions, the Columbus Crew, right? And he actually wanted to move the team to
yeah,
Austin, but the fans, of course, they didn't want to, and there was a group of people who protest against this decision, and they basically find new owners for the club, and he moved to Austin, and now he's one of the major owners of Austin FC. And yeah, Austin FC have been closing a lot of partnership deals for the shirt, for the sleeve, for the shirt sleeve, all Austin, Texas-based companies, which is really interesting. And they actually broke records, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right, about season tickets.
Yeah, dude.
They will have a new stadium with a capacity of 20,000 seats, if I'm not mistaken. And like the first day they opened the season ticket sales, they had already, I think it was like 30,000 people trying to reserve a season ticket. So yeah, this really shows again the power of having an actor and on has a owner of a club, and also that there is a lot of interest for soccer or football in Austin. And yeah, it's a good idea. Another team for the MLS, and I'm interested to see how this plays out. Although, like, I'm not American, but yeah, it's really interesting to see the model of the MLS and these franchise models.
Yeah, yeah. They got founded. There's a lot of controversy for the past since for like last 10 years basically. Whether or not we're gonna make a new team in Austin, and whether or not we're gonna be able to do it, whether or not we get approval. And now in 2018, they finally were able to get approval. Um, yeah, the owner of Columbus Crew, I think, now owns. Now I think is now the majority owner of Austin FC. I think he left, might have left Columbus Crew. So yeah, and as you, as we said before, actor Matthew McConaughey, he owns a small portion. Yeah, he's gonna be the basically he's gonna be publicizing this club. He's gonna be kind of spreading awareness of the club. Shirt sales. Obviously, there's also a financial aspect of this. So yeah, they'll be looking at that aspect as well. And yeah, I think they have a bright future ahead of them, Austin FC. A very grand future. They have a good stadium. I think the article, as you says, 20,000, maybe 40,000. I forgot, but yeah, good stadium. They'll be opening the stadiums. I think they also said they'll also be opening the stadiums to concerts as well as football games, and hopefully in the future they're saying that hopefully they'll be able to host bigger events. Hopefully by 2026, you never know. Maybe they'll even host a World Cup match.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
they are
yeah,
also investing a lot, like we said, in the stadium, and they are also investing on training facilities, like worth it of like about $40 million, if I'm not mistaken. They also already admitted the possibility of having a women's team. So yeah, and they also said that they would share the space, so the stadium, the training facilities. So I think a bright future ahead. Another team for the franchise. And yeah, lately every year we have been getting a lot of new teams. Like we had Inter Miami this season. We are supposed to get a new franchise, but due to COVID, some couldn't join this year. I think, for example, I think it was Charlotte FC is going to
yeah,
join next year, but Austin actually managed to join because this has been a something that is he has been planning a lot of years back. And yeah, it was a long wait probably for some crazy soccer fans in Austin, but now they have a MLS team.
yeah, yeah. As you said before, Austin FC, they were already so ahead of their plans that they were able to become a real club this season. Charlotte SC, also a new coming club. They was also supposed to join MLS this season, but COVID, as you said, stopped them from doing so. So next year or next 2 years, they'll hopefully be able to join. I think their stadium is being built like now as we speak. Their stadium is being built, and uh, there are going to be, I think, more MLS teams coming in the future. I can't remember which ones, but yeah, MLS, the teams are just big. Publicity is clearly a big thing since they were able to get an actor on board as part of an owner, as a partial owner. So yeah, he doesn't own much, but He still owns it a large amount. Honestly, like all these owners, obviously, I don't think money is a problem for them. COVID hasn't affected them much, and they were able to get some players before the season started. They're able to play some games. I think yesterday they put on a decent performance against LA. They went up to the last minute, and then LA was able to grab a last minute goal, which made it 2-0. So I think Austin FC. I think they're getting there, becoming a better team every day. And I think MLS should welcome them because they're just another football team, and I think I think they have a good future ahead of them with the owners that they have and the sponsors.
Yeah, for sure. And they will bring a taste of football and probably a better level because they already have one team in Austin, but yeah, not a MLS team.
Yeah. Okay. So our last thing that we'll be discussing is that Sport Italia, the broadcasting, the television broadcaster from Italy, now has rights to broadcasting the Argentinian league up until 2024. So what are your thoughts on that? Because now, um, a lot of immigrants from Argentina and Brazil, now are they live in Italy a large amount, as you said, as you're telling me before, and yeah, now they have chances to watch their home games from a country so like hundreds of miles away. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that it's really interesting to see actually, and yeah, like you said, like you mentioned, there is a connection between Italy and Brazil and Italy and Argentina. It's a connection that leads back to the last century and a little bit before of that. There were a lot of Italians that immigrate to those two countries, and yeah, right now, if you go check some players and some teams, there are a lot of Brazilian players that have double nationality. They are also Italian, and same thing for players
Yeah,
from Argentina. So of course there is interest for the first division, the first Argentine division, and it what was really interesting, and it was this sale um, was made from an effort from two different rights owner agencies. So basically, I think it's called the agency Torneo that owns the rights to the Argentine league internationally, and this agency partnered up with the Brazilian one that owns the rights for the two first divisions of Brazil internationally, and they basically grouped together to sell the rights of the first division of Argentina. And yeah, in Italy they now are going to have access to some of the most fired up derbies and classicos of the South American football, like Boca against River Plate. And if I'm not mistaken, it is 4 games per week, right?
yeah, 4 games, yeah, per week. They'll be broadcasting in Italy.
Yeah. And they also have planned after that a show about the other matches and some highlights too. So yeah, it's really interesting to see this, and probably people that have Argentine connections with Argentina in Italy will be very happy to know about it.
Yeah, yeah. I just think it's really cool. But I think you just said everything. Yeah, a lot of heritage from Argentina. Now they're in Italy. They get to watch their home games. There are a lot of really good games in it. Argentina, you said like classicals like Boca and River Plate. I think those will be fun to watch, especially if feeling homesick with football wise. I think it's just really cool. If you're older in Italy, you get to watch your home games. You didn't have access. Now they have access for the next 3 years. So I think that that's really cool. Yeah, I think that's really cool for the Argentinians and just people who like to watch football almost every day.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of for me. Sometimes I actually, if it is on television here in Portugal, I try to watch it a bit because it's completely different and it's very, very fired up all the games, especially if we talk about Boca against River Plate, and it's a completely different scenario. It's the game is the game like play wise, it's more break, and it's ball up front, always action on the game. It's like it never stops. It's really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Argentinian football is just like the regular football. It's always gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, for the hardcore football fans, every game is interesting. So having one more league in Italy probably would be interesting for them.
Okay, so that's all we have to talk about today. I think there's one other question we didn't answer in the chat. So here it is. Who do you think will win, PSG or Manchester City? You can go
I
first.
actually, it's a really difficult, yeah, to say. But yeah, let's. If you want me to decide, I'm going to go with PSG.
Why do you think PSG will win?
I, for me, like if one of them wins, I will not be surprised, you know. So if Manchester City goes to the final, they have been looking for that for a long time. PSG, they have been looking for that for a long time too. They had a chance last year, they lost. So maybe this time for redemption for PSG. Maybe for Manchester City, they will be able to lift the Champions League trophy for the first time, and Aguero will leave Manchester City happy and with the trophy that he wanted. There are a lot of reasons for both teams to be motivated to go for this competition, and yeah, but I'm going to with the PSG. PSG, they have been looking good this season on the Champions League, and I think they are going to bet on it really hard.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think PSG will also win. Manchester City have obviously been such a dominant team this season. You know, they've been dominant in the Premier League, since the start of 2021, not the season, since the start of this year. They've just been so dominant. Winning almost every single game. I think they've only lost um 2 games in 3 games now in all competitions since their loss to Chelsea last night in the FA Cup. But I still think PSG will be able to win. I think they've been performing better in the Champions League. They haven't been performing as well in League One, but still, I think PSG will be able to overcome a incredible Manchester City team. And yeah, no, I just think PSG have the better attackers. I just think they have a better team to face Manchester City and be
Yeah.
able to counter what they have.
The only thing that I would love to see is seeing Bernardo Silva grab the Champions League trophy because he's my favorite player. But yeah, that's why I want Manchester City to win. But I have a I think that PSG is going to be the winner, but yeah, let's see. Maybe we have some surprise on the semifinals too. So
Yeah,
we probably are speaking a little bit ahead. We still have 4 games to watch before the final, right? So
yeah,
let's watch the games and then let's speculate about what's going to happen on the final.
yeah,
Maybe we'll have Real Madrid playing in the semifinals. We don't know, or Chelsea probably won't like that option, but yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's a good thing about Bernardo Silva. Because yeah, our next question is, who are your favorite players and why?
You can go first. I already mentioned mine so many times.
Okay, I think it's kind of clear. I like Ronaldo. My favorite player is Cristiano Ronaldo. I started following football in 2016. Started watching Euro 2016. I just watched his performance. I just fell in love with the way he played. So Ronaldo's my favorite player. Because of him, I watch football. Juventus is not my favorite team. I like Real Madrid. Because I just like Real Madrid, and he used to play when Ronaldo left. I was so heartbroken, but still, Ronaldo still my favorite player. I still think he's one of the. I think, in my opinion, he is the best. He's the best of all time, in my opinion. Um, I think now he's finally has 2 months ago. I think he finally surpassed most goals ever in football. So obviously that's a huge thing for him. So yeah, I still think Ronaldo is the best player and he's my favorite player. I just love the way he plays. His performances are always usually consistent as well. So that's another reason.
yeah, like for me, like I already mentioned, it's Bernardo Silva. I know it's not the best player in the world, but I'm not the kind of guy that is going to say that I like Messi or I like Ronaldo. And I normally tend to evaluate the best players by each season. So for me now, the best player in the world is Lewandowski, but my favorite player is Bernardo Silva. I just love the way he plays with the ball close to its foot. It's like so beautiful, so perfect. It's like the ball never leaves him. It's like he's one with the ball, if you can say that. And yeah, I really love the way he plays from the right to the middle, and yeah, I love like the way he moves on the pitch. I also at the time he used to play for Monaco, and at the start in Manchester City he used to play more on the the right side of
Yeah.
the pitch, the right wing, and it didn't happen too many times, but he would do something very interesting when he was close to the area. He would go inside and score really great goals with great effect, like with his left foot. And I love that goals. I love that goals. And yeah, just he's an amazing player. And yeah, he. I'm excited to see if he can help Manchester City get that place on the final of the Champions League. Of course, tough game, and yeah, if they go to the final, I will be for sure 100% Manchester City just because of him.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva,
But yeah,
I think since he's arrived at City, I think Pep's played him in so many attacking positions. I think he's shown that he can play really in any midfield position, in any forward position. He's played striker a few times. He showed that he can play right or left wing. He can also play attacking mid. I think he does really well there as well. And as you said, he's one of the best. In my opinion, he's one of the best dribblers in the world, along with Neymar or Messi. Yeah, I think Bernardo Silva is also a great player. One of City's best.
yeah, and one of the most important ones. I can
Yeah.
remember one game that they played in the Premier League, and he ran like 15 kilometers or something like that. It was a crazy amount. And yeah, it shows how much he works, and sometimes he doesn't show off that much like other players, but he's really important for Manchester City, especially now. He has played in so many positions, and when he plays up front, like a false nine, like Messi would play for Guardiola's Barcelona, and he kind of does a similar role now in Manchester City, and it's very interesting to see the way he moves on the pitch and how important he is for Manchester City.
Yeah, I think he's a great player. Okay, so that's all the time we have for today. We went over everything, and I really hope you guys enjoyed our touchline report today. We'll have our third episode hopefully next Saturday, and around I think now we'll start doing 11 a.m. Eastern time. So yeah, I hope you can join us every week. We usually do hour or so of podcasts, just talking about football. Have anything to add, Manuel?
Mm, No, just thank you. Thanks for watching. Please um, follow our social media. You can search on Instagram the Touchline Report. We are there. We try to post some stuff there about what's happening around football, more on the pitch. And if you want us to talk about something, we can also suggest us some topics. And yeah, we every week we'll try to search for some interesting topics and bring you something different each episode. So stay tuned to our podcast. Yeah, and probably next
Yeah,
week it will be a little bit different because we don't have Champions League this week. But we'll bring you, I think, a really interesting topic that I think you are going to like. So please stay tuned next Saturday. And yeah, that's it.
yeah.
And thank you.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll leave the links to all of our social media. We have on Instagram, we have on Twitter. We'll leave it in the description below. Make sure to subscribe and like the video and share. and leave a comment if you want. You can tell us whatever you want us to talk about next time. We'll definitely look at your comments, take them into consideration, and then we'll definitely do something with them. Don't worry. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you next
Thanks.
Saturday.